been so long since we've done a video, guys, and the reason for that is we've been building a boat. You would have seen a few little videos beforehand of when we picked it up and a few little progress runs, but this one here is one that I've been hanging to do, is a full reveal of the boat. First of all, we've decided to go with the 8.5 metre by 2.7 metre wide Oceanic Fabrication hardtop. We went to Oceanics after building the 8.5 first, then the 6.8, and then I was going to build a 7.6. Went there with Sharon, my partner, and she saw another 8.5 sitting there in the doorway, and she says, we're building one of them. So she had a fair bit of input into building this boat, but I went there to build a 7.6. She wanted the 8.5, and hey, who am I to argue? The boss wins. So this here is an 8.5 metre custom hardtop. The trailer, being an 8.5 metre boat's quite heavy. The boat's quite heavy, so we've had to build a really heavy trailer. Oceanic's do an awesome trailer. Full aluminium, massive I-beams, like super heavy duty. This trailer is absolutely bulletproof. First of all, starting up here, it comes with a 70mm ball. Any 4.5 tonne trailer is going to have a 70mm ball, so you've got to make sure if you are going to build a big boat, you've got the vehicle that can tow it. So, you know, my Land Cruiser can tow 4.2 tonne, which is going to be more than enough for this boat. On the trailer, ready to go, is if we're heading up north, we think it'll be about 4 tonne. Where it sits right now, pretty light, like with maybe 100 litres of fuel, it's about 3.4 tonne. So it's not a light boat, but you know, it's big is heavy. What we've done different on this boat, we've decided to go for the actual boat catch. So we've had boat catches before, but this one here is the brand is actually boat catch. It's awesome. Me and my partner Sharon, we can put the boat in and out on our own. We just sort of drive it up. She'll hook the winch on once it grabs. Easy. You know, it's a really quick process. It's sort of one of the things I'm not too sure about is this going to hold my boat? If I had to test it, I reckon it'll be okay. If we don't have to test it, we'll lock it up with that, hook the winch on just for a bit of precautionary measure, and then we'll pull it out. But I seriously think if we're an Exmouth and the boat ramp was flat out, we had to get it out quickly. I have the more I use this, the more faith I get in it that we're not going to have an issue with it. I think it'll lock on, it's tight, doesn't move at all, and we can pull it out. But like I said, if we don't have to risk it, then you know, we'll hook it up with that, boat stays there, and then Sharon will just hook the latch up and drive the car out. So it's yeah, this boat catch is a really good design. Like I like this boat catch more than the other one that we use. So coming down the boat here, it's all got skids, same as the last trailer. Skids on the side, rollers down the keel. It drives on really well. It's yeah, it drives on really well. It's got 16-inch forward drive rims and tyres, stainless steel calipers, stainless steel rotors. The brakes are awesome. This trailer tows awesome. Like we don't even know it's there. You know, we can cruise along in the cruiser 100 k's an hour, and seriously, it does not know it's there. Tows straight. Yeah, really happy. The guys know how to build a trailer. Okay, so onto the hull. The hull is an 8mm bottom, 5mm sides, and 3mm superstructure. So it's a nice heavy bottom of the boat. All the weight's nice and low. That's what you want. If you've got an aluminium boat, two things need to happen. One, it needs to be heavy. You want a nice heavy boat. Two, your weight wants to be nice and low as possible. You don't want to have too much. You know, flybridge cruise is going to be a bit top heavy. These things here, if you look at them in the water, they look low and they look wide. So you know, it's all the weight's where it wants to be to get the best possible ride and the most stability. And these things ride like no other and super stable at rest. So 8mm bottom, 5mm sides, and 3mm superstructure just works with this boat. We've decided to wrap this boat again. Like the other boats, we've wrapped the sides and paint inside the cabin. The wrap is done by 4 Signs. Tay and Young at 4 Signs do a wicked job. These guys have done 3 boats of mine. They're doing boats all the time and a lot of custom stuff, and they are really at the top of the game. If you need anything done, any boat wrap or anything like that, go and see Tay at 4 Signs in Mandurah. They do a beautiful job, and it's all custom, so they can they talk you through all the latest greatest gear. Boat name, Dangerous Tackle. So all our boat names, I don't know if you've noticed, a few guys have picked it, but they're all named after like an AFL tribunal or AFL suspension type of thing. So you know, if you get done for dangerous tackle, you might get done for using excessive force, you know, that sort of thing. That's why we've gone with those names. We're mad keen footy supporters. That's what we've gone for. We've gone footy sort of names. So yeah, something different. What we've done also with this boat, which I don't know if I'll do it again, such a huge job, is we polished the sides, and it's due to be done again. But we polished all the bow rail and the bumper strip, and as good as it looks, so like it looks really cool, it's a lot of work, took a lot of time. And I think to maintain it's not so bad, but to get it to that initial shine, it's a massive job, huge job, but it does look cool. We'll see what happens on the, if we build another boat, we'll see what happens if we polish that one or not. It was such a big job, we'll see how we go. We've gone with the jewfish again. Had jewies on rough conduct, just love the jewies. Like I wanted to get something different, but I just couldn't think of anything that no one else has got or I haven't seen before. So we went with the jewies again. The wrap on this is 3M, so it's sort of like a metallic wrap. In the right sun, like the last boat, you can see metallic fleck through it. Looks really nice, and it's a real good effect. Once again, guys at Four Signs hooked us up with that. So coming down the back of the boat. Before we jump on the boat, we're going to show you the transom. So there's basically two transom designs that Oceanic Fabrications do. They'll do this transom design, and they'll also do a transom where it's more flat. Basically what you get with this transom is you get one extra person's fishing room. On the other transom design that's flat, your marlin board basically finishes here. So we like this design because you do gain that one extra person's fishing room. Not that you need it on this boat, but the more the merrier. And it's good just to sit out here and, you know, getting on and off the boats. Yeah, it's really good. We've done something a bit different on this boat. We have gone away from the big bar. We used to have the bar on there. If you have a look at the last videos, the bar that sort of protected the motor. We've decided to go with like 2 cages just to make it a bit safe. If you're standing out here fishing, fighting a fish or whatever, you sort of you're locked in and you're not going to go anywhere. It's nice and safe. Kids aren't going to fall out, that sort of thing. We'll talk about the motor before we get on the boat too. This motor is a 325. We have ordered a 350. The 350 we've been waiting for 14 months for. It still hasn't arrived. We don't know when we're going to get it. So what we've done, we've had to purchase a second-hand 325 from the guy that we ordered the motor from, the 350 from. And when the 350 gets here, we're just going to simply swap it over. All the controls are the same, just like there's a little patch harness for the wiring that needs to be fitted, but otherwise, yeah, we're just running a 325 at the moment. Performance is still pretty good. We're getting just under 41 knots max speed. It's a pretty good motor. This would just about do, you know. The 325 would probably be enough, although when you've got 600 litres of fuel, holds 100 litres of water as well, when you're fully loaded up, we might find that it's a little bit underpowered, but you know, even saying that, you know, we've got just under 41 knots. There was six of us on board and 100 litres of fuel, so that was just during the sea trial. But yeah, it's yeah, the motor's good. The Suzuki, it's a bit noisy, like I said before in the last videos. It's a little bit noisier than say the Merc and the Honda. But one thing that this motor does have is the Duroprop. The control at the jetty and docking with this Duroprop is a big improvement over just a single prop. I don't know how it works, but what I do know is when you're coming up to a jetty and you put it in reverse, the boat pretty much slows down straight away without RPM, and then a little bit of RPM, it's really responsive. So it'll turn, it'll pull into the jetty nicely. I don't know how it works, but it's so much better to dock at the jetty or at a boat ramp with this Duroprop. Another thing with the Duroprop that I've noticed compared to a standard prop, it doesn't seem to slip. So you can cruise along at like 30 knots and put it into a hard turn, and it seems to bite in and not really slip, whereas the other ones, it's sort of, you can feel it sort of slide out a little bit, whereas this just seems to bite in. Must be something with the push-pull sort of setup, I'm not too sure, but the Duroprop, I love it. I reckon it's a good thing. Definitely easy to handle the boat at slow speeds with the Duroprop. Oh, another thing too, if you're cruising down the canals or down the waterways slowly, I seem to have to correct the boat a fair bit with the other motors. This one here, it seems to point straight, so not as susceptible to current, I suppose. Probably biting in a bit more grip. We've decided to go the single for the simple reason is cost, servicing. You don't have to service 2 engines, and we're not doing really remote stuff. If I was up Kimberley's and doing remote stuff all the time, I would probably have 2 motors just to be safe, just to be sure, just to be safe, you know. If one motor lets you down, I've got another motor to get home. But generally what happens if the motor fails, rarely is it the actual engine itself. It could be fuel system, it could be electrical system, it could be you know, it could be anything like that. I suppose if you did have 2 motors and you hit a reef, Hopefully it didn't knock both props or damage both gearboxes. You might be able to get home that way. But 4-strokes these days, the outboards these days have come a long way. You know, not very often do you hear of an actual outboard failing, no matter what brand it is. You know, you can have your Suzuki, your Merc, your Honda, whatever, but rarely do you have a motor fail and let you stranded at sea. You know, most of the time it's something else related to the rest of the boat. So yeah, so one motor's good for us. One big 4-stroker. That's the reason we go with one. You know, one's enough. One's enough for us. You know, why spend the money if you don't have to? I think with a 350, we should get around 43 knots with this boat. You know, that's fast enough for us. Yeah, we all like to go faster, but you know, 43 knots, if we, you know, around about that speed is going to be good for a big boat. So just before we jump on, we've gone with trim tabs again. I think having trim tabs on a boat just gives you that bit more control if you've got a side wind or uneven load, you know, or if you're punching into a head sea, dropping the nose down. Trim tabs are, I think, a must on pretty much every boat. So we've just gone with the Bennett trim tabs. Haven't gone auto trim tabs or anything like that. I just like having the manual control. I don't play with them that often, but yeah, I don't need all that fancy zip wake sort of stuff. Or I can't knock it because I've never had it. It might be the go, but I don't need it. I just, you know, these just basic trim tabs work for me, and yeah, I don't have an issue. As you can see on this boat, which we haven't done for the last two, is we painted the transom. I suppose give it that next sort of next bit of class, just to have it painted, just makes it look a bit more finished, I think. I do like it. Didn't paint on the last ones just because we thought less paint, less electrolysis and that sort of thing. But this one here, we'll give it a go and see how it goes. These ladders. So we've gone dual ladders. When we're up north, we do a lot of diving and snorkeling, and we put 2 ladders on just so that we haven't got everybody just floating in the water waiting for one person to get up. Dual ladders, they can jump up there, flip over, you know, just get out of the water a bit quicker. Like I've said on my last boats, a long ladder is so important. You know, we work on a lot of boats. Nothing worse than seeing a boat where when the boat's in the trailer, it's a bugger to stand up on. You imagine it in the water. When you're floating in the water, your head's out of the water, and then your ladder's this far under the water. You've got to try and get your leg up, and we've come up with this design here. Aris has made it happen. I told him what I wanted. It was a bit of a nightmare for him, but he worked it out in the end. It's an extendable ladder. So because the ladder folds up, we didn't want a long ladder where it's going to sit up and intrude where we're fishing. So this ladder here, simple design, but ingenious if you ask me. Ladder just folds down. Single pin. That's it. So keeps it nice and low. We can fish all around. If we're chasing a marlin or whatever, or a mackie or a wahoo, something that's going crazy, we can run all around the boat and we're not going to get our rods caught on anything. And then, you know, obviously when you undo it, drop it down, easy. And it's long. You can, you know, when you're in the water, you know, your legs up around your ears to get on your boat. So that thing there, that's a game changer, that one. I'll never ever build another boat without that design. And we've gone for the dive ladder so you can still get up with your flippers on, but yeah, that ladder there is awesome. Rightio, so we'll jump aboard. Okay, so the first thing you notice when you jump on board is this awesome flooring. So we usually do carpet. Love carpet, never had an issue with carpet, but we wanted to be a bit different on this build, and we've decided to go with DC Deck Company. They do a product called U-Deck. Now I've got it, I would never ever go back to anything else. To walk on it, it's spongy, it cleans easy, and the visual effect that it gives is just amazing. Like, it's absolutely insane. Could not be more happier with this product. U-Deck have been doing marine flooring for longer than anyone else. I think 30 odd years or 35 years or something like that they've been exporting their product. But Daniel at DC Deck Company, he's a guru, mate. You know, he designed all this. We just gave him a bit of an idea what we wanted. Yeah, he's done the lot. So we've also gone down the gunnels and right around the front. You know, we do a lot of sight casting and a lot of lure casting, so the boys can jump up the front, stand on this and throw lures all day, and they're not going to slip. It's just really nice on your feet, and it's easy to clean. We haven't got any blood on it yet because we haven't been out fishing, but we had a Christmas party yesterday and there was a few drinks spilt on it. Come in this morning, it's literally a simple just hose off. It is awesome. I absolutely love this. This is probably one of my favourite additions to the boat. Is this flooring. Next level. I'm sort of, when I first went to pick it up, you know, jumped on the boat with Daniel, I was speechless, mate. And I talk underwater, so you know, for me to be speechless is is something else. But this flooring is next level. We're actually we've actually ordered a section for the roof as well. I didn't worry about doing the roof because I thought it won't matter, you know, but now I've had it everywhere else. I'm getting the roof done just because, you know, the guys spend a fair bit of time up there, either sitting on when we're cruising around up north or whatever, walking around the roof, and yeah, we're definitely getting a section for the roofs. Top marks for Daniel from DC Deck Co, mate. This stuff is just next level. Give him a call, he'll look after you. Okay, so while we're at the back of the boat here, we've done something a little bit different. We've added a live bait well. So we don't use the live bait well over here that much, not like Eastern States guys, but what we want to do a bit more up north is chasing sailfish that are around the Gulf of Exmouth. So the idea is catching liveys, putting them in here, you know, casting liveys for sailfish. That's something we want to get into. So we thought we'll do a live bait well this time for something different, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I've never used one before, never needed to, but it just gives us that option to switch up our fishing. So yeah, that's one thing that's a new addition to the boat this time. In this compartment here is our batteries and isolator station. So we're running one cranking battery and two AGM deep cycle batteries. We're running deep cycle AGMs because I want the weight. I could have gone lithiums, but just because we've made a few modifications to this boat, added weight up forward, we want to keep some weight down the back. So I wasn't interested in trying to lose weight down the back, I was trying to add a bit of weight. So the AGMs are a fair bit heavier than lithiums, and that was my reason for going AGMs. So we've got 200 ampere hours of AGMs and a 950 cranking battery. Now to charge those deep cycle batteries, as usual, we're running nothing but the best in Red Arc electronics. We've got a Red Arc BCDC charging those two AGMs, and also 240 watts of Red Arc solar panels on the roof. So they pump in around about sort of 17 to 18 amps when the sun's straight above us, and that's more than enough. You know, we're running a 80 litre Waco, which we'll show you shortly. That pulls about 5 amps max. I've had that fridge on since I finished the fit out, which has been about 5 weeks now, and we've had overcast weather, we've had rain, we've had all sorts. Those batteries haven't dropped below 12.6, even we had 2 days of rain. Those solar panels are still working and keeping those batteries topped up. So if you want the best, you have to use the best. You've got to go Red Arc. Red Arc is number one when it comes to 12 volt charging solutions, solar solutions. So over this side of the boat here, this is our fuel filter. So what we use, because we're running two 300 litre fuel tanks, we're running just a mechanical changeover solenoid switch basically. What we've got here, we've got water and fuel separator. We've got these two inline taps here. So very, very simple. This one here is off at the moment, this one here is on. So we're pulling from the front tank. When I want to change over, we can just simply turn those, and we're pulling from the other tank. So I can isolate each tank, run one tank down, and if I want to move some weight around, everything's nice and accessible, and out of the way. So yeah, just to recap that, we're running two 300 litre fuel tanks for a total of 600 litres of fuel. Two motors, you're going to use a bit more fuel, might need a bit more fuel capacity, but you know, one big donk, 600 litres gives you a fair bit of range. We're running a kill tank. So our kill tanks are generally used for storage. We don't put fish in them. We've got the full arsenal of all the Logix fish bags and eskies and that sort of stuff. The Logix fish bag is a product that we love. We use it every time we go fishing. We'll sit it on the deck, we can move it around, and yeah, we just put fish in that and just use our kill tank for storage. This panel here, this is removable. That's our 100 litre water tank. We've got a hose which we use for our shower. So this is our fresh water setup here with sink, high pressure pump, and hose. There's a drain on the side of the boat that sink drains into, and yeah, 100 litres of fresh water. Handy when you get off when you come out of the water, hose yourself off. There's nothing better, and also for cleaning your reels. This is our saltwater deck wash. So that's just got a hard alley pipe that draws from the ocean, and it's just a high pressure deck wash that we'll wash the deck down with and that sort of stuff. But fresh saltwater hose, freshwater hose, best of everything. We're going to go to the part of the boat that we the boat was designed around. We wanted something a bit different. We wanted a hardcore fishing machine, but we also wanted something with a bit of comfort. So when we're not fishing, we can, you know, the boat's just at home cruising around the canals, or just a real awesome crossover family fishing weapon. The missus, she had a huge input into this setup of the boat. We wanted somewhere where after a big day's fishing, we can all sit in the helm. We're all comfortable. We're all listening to music, all talking smack, and everyone can sit down and be comfortable. And even in rough weather, you need to be comfortable, you know. So we've gone for a massive L lounge. This lounge was all trimmed up by the guys at Mandra Canvas, Andy. Once again, another professional that we use that had knocked the ball out of the park. We bought a chair. We bought a Helm seat from JPW, and we took that seat into Andy and said, make our lounge like, you know, the same as that chair, so the same sort of stitching, just so it all looks like it matched up. And check this out. This is amazing. So what they've done, if you have a look at this, Helm chair, I'll spin it around for you. So that Helm chair, this is one we just bought. It's I think it's about $375 or $395 roundabouts from JPW. We bought that chair, red stitching, the theme that we wanted, bit of carbon fibre look. These guys have done the same with this. So it's all got the red stitching, the red piping, the carbon fibre look, and you know, it's just an awesome, absolutely awesome setup. So we've gone 100mm foam on the bottom with a knee bolster. So this knee bolster, when you're sitting in the boat and the boat's rocking around or it's rough, it actually locks your legs in. So I've seen a lot of boats with these sort of style of seating. They're only a small seat, so they're only sort of this wide. So you sit on it, you feel like you're going to slide off. They're just not very practical, not very comfortable. This thing here is just super comfortable, mate. Every time someone gets on the boat, they're all bags on the sit here. You know, it's just a comfortable seat. And one thing with Aris, when we were doing the design, we've made the seat nice and high. So when you're sitting up here, you've got good vision. You know, there's nothing worse than sitting low and not being able to see out your windows and that sort of thing. Yeah, just the height, everything is spot on. Now underneath this seat, we've also got storage. So we're just in the process of carpeting the bottom of that, but that's a massive storage area. We are going to put struts on this as well. But yeah, we're making use of every compartment in this boat is storage, so making the most of everything we can use. The more storage, the better. So yeah, so this is what the whole boat was designed around, this helm area, and it's huge. You know, it's nice and big. While we're in here, we're going to show you the fridge. So we'll pop back out for a sec. We're running that, like I said before, we're running the 80 litre Waco. Just sits under here. It's vented at the front and also vented around the side where the fans are. And this is our fridge, nice and big, easy to access. And there you have it. 80 litre Waco we think is the perfect size. Well, 80 litre, doesn't have to be Waco, but 80 litre fridges are meant for a boat when you're not really worried about room as much. So yeah, 80 litre just gives you plenty of storage. So Aris from Oceanic sorted that setup for us. They did the slides and made the door, and just yeah, it looks Hollywood, nice and hidden away. We've also gone this little shelf here, just for making sandwiches or you know, doing a cook up or whatever you want to do. We had that on the last boat on rough conduct behind the helm seats, and yeah, it was just handy having a bit of bench space. As you can see while we're here, the most important thing on a boat is rod holders. No, I'll change that. The most important thing on the boat is drink holders. The second most important thing is rod holders. There's a rod holder for every drink holder, or should I say a drink holder for every rod holder. So there's more than enough drink holders on this boat. You don't want to be spilling any beers when you're fighting that fish. So the cabin, we've got a full lockable cabin door on this boat. The guys from Mandra Canvas trimmed up the cabin for us as well. We carpeted the outsides, but they trimmed up the cabin. It's got a flushable toilet in there as well. The second segment, so we moved that cushion out the way. There's a panel there we move out the way, and then that cushion and that panel folds up, and we've got access to a flushable toilet. Quite a big cabin. We can sleep a couple in there easy, and very, very comfortable. And it's also good too, because it's got the lockable door. We can put our all our expensive fishing gear in there, lock it up, and when we're in transit. No worries with getting stuff knocked off. So we've decided to go with Simrad again. Now, we had Simrad on the last 2 boats, and I love it. Previous to this, I was always a Furuno man. Love the Furuno sounder. And then the plotter, I always thought wasn't as important. The sounder was the main thing. We're running a 1 kilowatt AMR 175 medium frequency, I'm pretty sure. But I'll confirm that. We'll put some up on the screen so you know exactly what it is. But 1 kilowatt through-hull transducer with the Simrad Evo 3s sounder and Simrad Evo 3 plotter and radar. So you would have heard me say on my last boats that I don't really need radar, so we always went autopilot over radar. This boat being a next level build, we've decided to add radar. One thing that I didn't think about before was these Simrad radars have a bird finder function. So if you're up north looking for birds, schools of birds to chase billies, this thing has a function that I don't know how it works, we're yet to use it, but it'll hone in on those bird schools, and rather than have to rely on visually seeing them, you can have a look on your radar and go find them, and then sort of pin it over to them without actually having to see them. So that's something that I'm pretty keen to use. But yeah, the Simrads again, love Simrad. It's easy to use now. I've used it now. I'm used to it. I love it. I won't be changing anytime soon. We've also got the Simrad Autopilot. It's awesome value for money. It's about a quarter of the price as a Furuno Autopilot or another Autopilot when you're purchasing all this gear, and it works awesome. You know, we've had it on the last 2 boats, and I wouldn't have a boat without autopilot. So you know, the Evo 3s with the autopilot, you know, the 1 kilowatt, the radar, we've pretty much got the full ensemble of Simrad gear. Like I say, I haven't caught a fish yet, so we're doing a big trip to Exmouth coming up for a month, so we'll be putting all this gear to use, and hopefully I have no doubt it's going to help us find fish. With our switch panel, this switch panel is pretty basic. Some people don't like it, some people like it. For me, the switches are easy to find. You don't have to, you know, there's a lot of nice stainless steel switches with, you actually got to press the button. Look, I like switches that are easy to press. Now these switches can handle 20 amps, so there's no need to run relays. We've run one relay for our top light bar, because that's you know, that's a steady pro, so that draws about 25 amps. So around about 22 to 25 amps. So we've had to run a relay for that, but everything else just runs through these 20 amp switches. They've got fuses built in. If you've got an issue, you pop the cover off and you can check the fuses. It saves you from having to run a separate fuse box behind the dash. Just keeps everything nice and neat and easy to install. We're running the Viper winch again, the Viper Pro Series winch. Had them on the last 3 boats, never had an issue with one. No need to change what works. Although this one here, we installed it and the switch was dicky. So, you know, first out of the three packages we've had, one switch was dodgy, so we've had to change a winch. GME VHF and Fusion stereo system. Never had an issue with any of the GME or the Fusion stuff. Over this side here is our Red Arc solar screen. So that tells us everything what's going on with our solar. But just having a screen to be able to check on everything is really handy. Alright, lighting. I'm an auto sparky, so generally I have more lights than what I need, and that stands true for this boat. We've gone for the LED downlights. We've got LEDs in the speakers. We've got underwater lights. We've got lights on the side of the boat. We've got a spotlight at the front. We've got a cabin light. We've got lights everywhere, but you do need to have good lighting, especially if you do a bit of night work. The LED stuff we use is generally Nava. Pretty good gear, good warranties, and don't generally have too much trouble with them. With our roof lining, we've decided to do something a bit different now. We usually do carpet on the roof. The problem with doing carpet with this stuff, they don't make wood this long, so we would have had to have a join. So have four little bits and then carpet it up, and it's just a pain. I built a motocross trailer a few years ago out of this stuff, out of this composite alley panelling, and I've spoken to a few guys that have done this sort of thing on their boats, and I like the look of it, so we've decided to go this cheap, $360 for the panelling. The guys who got it off cut it for us, so all we do is just get it, peel the plastic off and stick it up. It really is that easy. You know, by the time we did the carpeting, would have taken probably 2.5 to 3 hours to cut it all out and carpet it, stick it up, and it still would look nowhere near as good as this. I think I've found something new that I'll be doing to all my boats. This roof paneling, this aluminium composite, is awesome. And one thing I've noticed, when it is hot out there, It's pretty cool to touch. So we've gone with a new company to our windows this year. We've gone with sealed marine windows. These windows are a real nice window. They're nice and tight. They don't rattle. My first boat, my God, the company that did them, I think I would have explained it in my first video, so you have to check it out. They rattled. They did my head in, and the guy that I sold the boat to, same thing, did his head in. He tried to take it back to get him to rectify it. They couldn't rectify it. Took it back home, went out, rattled again, took it back again for the second time. They said they fixed it, didn't fix it. So he's, I'm pretty sure he's decided to install new windows in that. Sealed marine windows are an awesome window. We've gone for one opener. So one opener in the middle, the two side ones open. But just to have this, a world of difference. So, you know, we had a Christmas party on the boat yesterday, and we were just cruising around the estuary, you know, 5 knots around the canals, just looking at dolphins and just, you know, having a good time. To have that open and just to have that little bit of airflow is just next level. You know, you don't realise how much you need that or how much you want that until you have it. My first boat didn't have it, didn't think too much of it, but now we've got it. I'll be getting this in the next boat if I build another boat or whatever. Yeah, that centre opener is a game changer just to get that airflow. It's yeah, it's awesome. Guys, I hope you liked the video. Anything you need to know, shoot us a message. There's so much to go on about. I've probably forgotten something, but yeah, the boat is awesome. The best boat that I've built so far, by far, just with the layout and the setup. Yeah, it is a really good boat. And what, you know, when you're building a boat, a couple of things: you need to have time. You know, if you're going to do it like yourself, you need to have the skills and the room to put the thing, because it's a massive boat. But time and location is pretty key. You know, a lot of guys think, oh, I'm just going to build a boat, no worries, and they rattle it off and work out how they're going to do it, but they don't have anywhere to store it or to work on it. So anyone who's built a boat, and you know, I know a few guys that have built boats, and it's a massive job. And what's key to building a boat is finding out good trades and services that are going to help you get the job done. So everybody we use, you know, at the top of their game, we've used them 3 times now with 3 boat builds. If we use somebody and we're not happy with their work, then we'll move on. But you know, everybody that's worked with us for these 3 boats have really are really at the top of their game. And you know, to find a guy like Daniel from DC Detco, to, you know, who we haven't worked with before, to do the flooring, to have someone come on board that's just really at the top of their game is good to work with. And you know, it sort of makes your job easier to get a product that's that you're looking for. So not only is it good to have people that work with you and build you a product, the guys at Oceanic Fabrication, Aris and Bruce, are 2 blokes that will do whatever you want. You can work with guys that can build you something, and they've always sort of got their idea and they'll build it their way, even though you've got a little bit of input. Anything you need, Aris and Bruce will change for you, modify. You know, they go over and above to build you your dream boat. So they've sent boats over east all the time. You know, there's no restrictions. So anywhere in Australia, give the guys at Oceanic Fabrication a call. They build weapons like this every day. You know, this is what they specialise in. So you know, give Aris a call. Oceanic Fabrication in Henderson. They are the best boat builders that I've ever had anything to do with, and they build quality. You know, this is a Bill Plug design. Bill Plug's been designing boats for 100 years. Not quite 100 years, but a fair while. And you know, these guys build his design better than anyone else on the market at the moment. So give the guys a call. Oceanic Fabrication in Henderson. They are the best in the business. For the whole time that I'm building a boat, I'm drawing designs and trying to work out the best way to go about it and what I want to get it right. Got to have a bit of a game plan to work out the best boat for you. But for us, this boat here and the layout's probably the best layout. Can't fault it. We haven't fished off it, but I already know it's going to be next level. I already know it's going to be insane. So you know, the idea is fish out there. That's the dirty area. Come in here, wash your hands, get clean, jump up on this beautiful comfy lounge, and job done for the day. You clean all your gear with your fresh water, hose all your reels off, and you know, the trip in's nice and relaxing. You listen to your music. We've got a subwoofer cranking there. Doesn't get any better, doesn't get any more comfortable. If you need to know something, shoot us a message. Check out my other vids as well, the build videos. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks guys.